you guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be making an easy recipe utilizing some of your leftover Easter dinner ingredients, and it is going to be cheesy ham and asparagus bake. So come along with me and let's get started. So if you're like us, you probably have some leftover ingredients from your Easter meal. And so I thought it would be a nice way to use up perhaps some ham that you had left over. And if you didn't have any ham for your Easter, ham is readily available in most grocery stores, and you can just buy it by the pieces. A lot of times I'll just buy ham steak, and it's not cost prohibitive, and it does not have a bunch of glazes and things on it, so it is ketogenic. It's a lot lower carb. So that's what I'm going to be using tonight. And we are also going to be using fresh asparagus because it is in season here, but you can also use frozen if you do not have it. Now this recipe was originally in allrecipes.com and it was not a ketogenic recipe, but I have just changed a couple of the ingredients to make it keto friendly and low carb. And it could easily be made ahead of time and put in the refrigerator if you wanted to have it on a weekend or some other time where you wanted the ease of having it done and then cooking it later. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to do a couple of prep steps before we can assemble our casserole. I have already cooked ham, and that is kind of the point of this dish, is using your leftover ham from the recent holiday. And I'm just rewarming mine in about a tablespoon of butter. So that's what's happening here. And I have cubed it, and it's about 1.5 cups of ham. I also have a skillet here with some water in the bottom. I'm going to cut my asparagus. I'm going to chop the ends off and throw them away because they're very woody. But then I'm going to slice them in probably about 1-inch pieces. And I'm just going to slightly parboil them here in my skillet, just till they're still slightly crisp, because of course they are going to bake in the oven and that will finish cooking the asparagus. But I don't want to put raw asparagus in mine because I want to make sure that my asparagus gets fully cooked in the oven in our casserole. You also want to preheat your oven. It's fairly high this time. It's 425. We aren't going to be cooking it for very long, so you want quite a high heat to set your eggs. So it's 425.
So what are you doing here?
This is half of a chopped red pepper.
What is this?
This is just a slice off of a white onion. I usually will buy a very large onion, white, purple, yellow, sweet, whatever kind you like. But I only end up using just like a small slice, and then I cut it really, really tiny because onions, especially the bulb kind, can be quite carby. Now I'm going to take this chopped pepper and this chopped onion, and I'm just going to warm them a little bit in with my ham, just so that they don't go into our casserole just raw. I just want to warm them through a little bit. So you can see that our asparagus has a slight boil to it. It's barely fork tender. It's still quite crisp. I'm turning it off. I'm going to drain the water because I don't want it completely cooked. Then you'll end up with soggy asparagus. So I just wanted a slight parboil so that it kind of gets on its way before we go into our casserole. Whenever I do any kind of breakfast casserole or anything that resembles a quiche, I always mix everything up in my blender. You don't have to do this, but I do find that it puts nice air into the eggs and it gives you a nice fluffy casserole. So I'm going to crack 8 eggs into my blender. I'm going to season our ham and vegetable mixture a little bit. This will basically be our only opportunity to season. I'm also going to season my egg mixture a bit because with a casserole like this, once it's cooked, it's very dense, and so trying to get salt inside it can be quite difficult. So I generally like to season before I put it in the oven, so that way when you sit down to eat it, you don't have to put a bunch of salt on there because it won't really go into the dish. So I'm going to do a little bit of garlic powder. And of course, as always, seasonings are personal. Whatever you enjoy, whatever your family enjoys. I'm going to do a little roasted garlic and herb. And I'm going to do a little bit of 21 seasoning Soleil. Now none of these had salt in them, so I'm also going to do a little bit of salt. And I'm going to do a little bit of pepper. I'm going to take my seasonings and we're going to come over to do our egg step. Now remember, we have our 8 eggs in the bottom of our blender. I'm going to add seasoning to my eggs as well. So a little bit of each. Once again, season to your desired taste level and whatever you and your family enjoy as far as seasonings go. You could easily add a little bit of hot sauce here or Tabasco if that's something you enjoy with your eggs. I'm also going to salt it a little bit because we won't have another opportunity to salt our eggs. Okay, to our 8 eggs, I want a half a cup of almond flour. I'm also going to use a half a cup of grated Parmesan. And I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy cream. And now we're going to put the lid on and we're going to blend this. So that adds a bit of air into our eggs, and adding air into eggs gives them fluffiness, especially in a dish like this. So we are going to move to our casserole dish, and you're going to need a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, and I have greased mine a little bit with avocado oil spray.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my ham and vegetable mixture, and I'm just going to put that in the bottom of my dish. Then we are going to take our par-cooked asparagus spears. You could use frozen if you can't find fresh. We were able to find fresh right now because it's in season here. But you could also use frozen if you needed. I have about 12 ounces here in case I didn't mention it, or 1 bunch. They sell it usually by the bunch here in the United States. And I'm just going to stir that all around. So I'm going to sprinkle this with a little bit of cheese. I'm going to be using probably about 2 cups total. So I'm going to do about 1 cup here. And then after we add our egg mixture, I'm going to put in an additional cup. We like things cheesy. The name of the casserole is Cheesy Ham and Asparagus Bake. So I do want plenty of cheese here. You can use any kind of cheese that you would like. When I did this for Easter, I used Swiss, and that's great. But Swiss does not stay melted quite as well. So this time I'm going to use Colby Jack. So that might give us just a little bit more creaminess when it bakes. But use whatever cheese that you would like. Okay. Now we are going to take our blended egg mixture and just pour it over the top. Now I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little bit more cheese. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the oven and I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check it with a knife inserted, and if the knife comes out clean, then we'll know that it is done. So 30 minutes, I'm going to start with 30 minutes, and that's 425 degrees. So it's been in for 30 minutes. And it is ready to come out of the oven. It smells yummy. And this is what it looks like. It's nice and golden brown on the top. So you're going to want to let it sit here for a few minutes and cool a bit. I would say give it about 10 to 15 minutes before you start cutting into it, just so that everything can cool down and so that it will stay together. So we'll see you back here in about 10-15 minutes. And we'll let CJ have a taste. Hi.
Hi.
We are having some delicious, cheesy ham and asparagus. And it's a bake, which is kind of like a casserole.
So what's it called?
Cheesy ham and asparagus bake.
Okay, bake.
Bake.
Not casserole.
No, but it's another name. Hot dish.
It's fine. I'm just asking. That's good. Although I didn't get any ham. It's good. I can taste the seasoning that you add up. That's real good. It's better than what you made for Easter.
You think that the Kojak cheese is better than the Swiss?
Yes.
Okay.
That type of cheese is better than the Swiss cheese.
Kind of creamier?
Yes. So I think it's better than what we have for Easter. Not that what we had for Easter was bad. It's just that the modification you made has made it better. Good job, baby. I think it's something people will like. And I think people can make this anytime, not just for Easter.
Yeah, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, ham is pretty easy to find, especially like on end caps and stuff. If you're having a hard time finding it, it's like at the end of the meat aisle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good job. Thanks, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you enjoyed the ham and asparagus bake. It's extra cheesy, just like me. I know that we are definitely enjoying it. We hope that you will come back and see us again and consider subscribing. We upload new content twice a week. On Wednesdays, we have Keto Conversations. This last week, we did a video on what we eat on keto. So sometimes we have videos like that. Sometimes we do food unboxings or product reviews for different ketogenic products on this lifestyle. So definitely join us there as well. And then on Sundays is when we release our new recipes. So you definitely don't want to miss that either. We are also on social media. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And a lot of times we release photographs of what we are serving or things that we are remaking from previous recipes that you and your family might also enjoy. So definitely check out those platforms. If you need any information for this recipe or for any of the other recipes that we have made in the past, ingredients, macros, taste test follow-ups, also tips and tricks I learned while doing this particular recipe, all of that can always be found on our blog, and that is CJsKetoKitchen.com. So definitely go over there. And we'll see you next time on CJ's Keto Kitchen. Bye.